decided I was just going to try, what I call traditional collage, finding things from, and I am a hoarder by nature. so, um, so that I had lots of things to work with. Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at all of your books, and
this is a fraction.
Yes, is it? I have a very practical question. Like, if you imagine you have a book like this, might you cut into the book when you're building a picture, or you have certain like materials that you won't cut from or will cut from?
I know. So it's quite. In the beginning, I felt, this goes against all my principles, cutting into a book. But my source material, a lot of it comes from this little town near where my mom has a house in Connecticut. Okay. And every summer I go, and we have to throw away our own rubbish at the dump. And they have a swap shop. And it's like this most amazing library. I mean, there's also old skis and skates,
yes,
and Tupperware and stuff there. But they have lots and lots of books, and I saved them for a long time over the years, just building up this library of books I was never going to read, but just admire the pictures. And then 2020 hit, and my New Year's resolution was 6 more months of collage, and then I'm going to go back to painting. I think I'm a real painter. But then there was the pandemic, and then I was doing my 10,000 hours basically of collaging. This one is one that I absolutely love, and there's just these, and then this book is,
so
this is 100 years old. I mean, this is,
what is the book? Originally, it's a like it looks like an encyclopedia.
Yeah, it's actually full of short stories and music and history, and I think that that there's quite a Christian bent to it. Yeah, and it's from the 1880s, but the quality of the sort of exterior view of the library of the Peabody Institute in Baltimore. And at the beginning, I used to throw bits away, and and then I just think, when I'm going to need this at some point, so I just put it back in. I really love the way this glass, this color is the same as that line there. It looks to me. And then I just love that contrast of the gray and the orange. And so I just have these things kind of sitting here, because at some point there's going to be one other, either orange or that grayish blue, that I'm going to come across. And then suddenly, boom, then I know it's going to come together. I have been trying to push myself to keep going back and going back, because my inclination is, 3 elements here, it's finished. And then I'm asking myself, is it really finished? Can I just put one more thing? Because the richness of collage really, can be from, I didn't notice that, and what does that say, and what's covered up, and what would that have said if it was complete, but now it's all covered up. So I think people are going to look back at this time as saying, this is the apex of printed material. I feel like it's only going to become, there's going to be fewer and fewer in the future. And so, and with that, there's some really great quality magazines, being published, but they cost the earth, and so this is sort of about to stop. We see things going
become all digital.
Yeah, and so I think people are going to say, these people understood, that these are like, the last of the dodo birds, and so, just I kind of feel like I need to gather as much as I can. One of the things that I want to explore more in the coming year is for my with my first child, I had a cesarean, and like many other things, menopause and stuff, that cesarean is something people don't kind of mention unless you're at the beach or or I don't know, in a women's group, and because I really would like to start using, sewing a bit more in my work. And and I did a picture for a little gallery called the House of Smalls. They had an exhibition called Scar, and so I did take a body and I cut it, and then I took this kind of long hole puncher and then made incisions and then sewed her back up, and just making this imperfection when they're supposed to be perfect.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and how actually scars was such a kind of great theme, because if you've lived, you have scars, either mentally or physically. Yes. And there aren't that many women, from that period. There's Eileen Agar, that's how you pronounce, and she also is doing incredible work. And but equally, everybody has to mention Kirchfidders and Matisse, and but they are also part of the, and particularly actually Matisse's cutout. I do a lot, like stenciling.
Yes.
With pieces. Yeah, with natural images.
The other way, how and it's got some writing as well. So it's interesting. It creates